Well, hello there. My name is Manuel Arenas, and I am a regular contributor to the Weird Fiction Quarterly, and I have for you a story that I wrote for the fall Halloween edition of 2023, and it's a story called Tricky Treat. And without further ado, here it is. Jimmy was a monster kid. He loved horror movies and was an avid collector of all things spooky. Halloween was his favorite time of year, of course, and come September he would begin planning for the year's All Hallows activities. This year, however, his plans were thwarted just as the spirit stores began cropping up in local strip mall lots. There had recently been a handful of disappearances in the Pantheon district of El Dorado where he lived, causing a panic which led the local elders to issue an evening curfew and ban all unnecessary outdoor activities. As Jimmy saw it, Halloween was necessary, and he was champing at the bit to celebrate. He had created his own devil costume using makeup and other accoutrements from the local costume shop, and was keen to show it off. On Halloween night, Jimmy waited till after supper, when his grandparents were nodding off in front of the television, to sneak out and see if he could scare up some spooky shenanigans. He felt too old for trick-or-treating, but perhaps he'd crash a party and startle everyone with his diabolical get-up. The streets were empty due to the curfew. The Pantheon district dark and silent as a graveyard. Notes posted on some doorways informed incautious callers that the occupants were not participating in the evening's festivities, and furthermore, would seek recompense from anyone brazen enough to offer any tricks. Other homes just had their porch lights switched off. One house, however, seemed to be in the spirit of the holiday. At the end of a cul-de-sac stood a dark, two-story residence, its porch lit by lambent jack-o'-lanterns of monstrous aspect. A pair of winged hounds with red eyes stood sentinel on either side of the door, which was adorned by a devilish face bearing a marked resemblance to his own grease-paint mask. Enticed by this synchronicity, he hot-footed over to investigate. As he approached the porch, he noticed a cauldron set up by the front door, over-brimming with candy. Now, at 15, Jimmy may have thought himself a bit old for trick-or-treating, but he wasn't about to pass up a free treat. Climbing the steps, he swore he saw one of the hounds blink. Perhaps a motion sensor would set the guardians to growling? But Jimmy wasn't afraid of animatronic props. Stopping to regard the devil on the door, Jimmy rolled up his left sleeve before plunging his arm into the cauldron to gather a generous scoop of treats. Groping around, he felt his wrist grasped by a cold and unremittent hand. He tried drawing away, but the more he struggled, the further his arm sunk into the candy until, with a final tug, he was pulled headlong into the cauldron. The candle flames in the jack-o'-lanterns momentarily flared, the hellhounds snarling as the candy resettled over him, ready to lure another hapless Halloween lover out in spite of curfew. Leering from the front door, the devil face arched its brow and broke into a chortle. Anyway, that's the story, and this is the lovely illustration that accompanied it, done by Nora PV. And that's my story. I hope you liked it. Thank you. Happy Halloween.